The intergalactic auction station Galaxia drifted silently in orbit around a binary star system, its crystalline dome reflecting the mesmerizing dance of twin suns. Captain Eric Ryland navigated through the throng of wealthy bidders adorned in shimmering fabrics and bioluminescent accessories, their gaudy displays of wealth making him instinctively pull at his faded leather jacket, a memento from countless planetary harbors spanning decades of space trading. He had docked the Aurora's Edge at Galaxia merely to oversee cargo repairs after a rough passage through the Orion Nebula's unstable fields. The auction hall, with its gravity-defying platforms and holographic displays, was merely a passing curiosity. Yet something compelled him to linger as the auctioneer's amplified voice announced, "And now, our most extraordinary offering, a genuine Leorian companion, versed in the sacred arts of the Eurobond." Ryland's attention sharpened as the central platform illuminated, revealing a translucent containment field. Within stood Kay, though he didn't know her name yet. Her iridescent skin shifted between hues of sunset amber and deep ocean blue with each movement. Hair like starlight cascaded past her shoulders, and when she raised her gaze to survey the crowd, her multifaceted eyes caught and reflected the station's lights in prismatic patterns. Despite being displayed like merchandise, she maintained a posture of serene dignity that unsettled him. "Starting bid, 5,000 credits," the auctioneer proclaimed. The price climbed rapidly. Ryland watched, disgusted by the spectacle, yet transfixed by Kay's unchanging calm. She appeared almost content. The thought disturbed him more than the auction itself. No one could truly be happy in such circumstances. 20,000. 25. Ryland glanced around at the eager bidders. Sleek merchants from the core worlds, a Krillian magnate draped in ceremonial robes, a human industrialist with cybernetic implants gleaming along his jaw, all vying for possession of another sentient being. "Abominable," he muttered, shaking his head. Lost in his indignation, he unknowingly mimicked their bidding gestures, absently raising his worn datapad. 30,500 to the gentleman in Sector 12. Ryland jerked alert. "Wait, I wasn't. Going once. That's not. I didn't mean to. Going twice." The datapad in his hand vibrated as his account was automatically accessed. Heart racing, he tried to protest, but the hammer fell. "Sold to Captain Ryland for 30,500 credits." The crowd's attention shifted to him, a modest trader who had just outbid some of the galaxy's wealthiest individuals. Security drones glided toward him as the containment field dissolved around Kay. She stepped gracefully onto the main platform, her movements fluid despite months of confinement. "Sir, please proceed to Collection Area 3 for transfer documentation," a station attendant instructed. Ryland's mind reeled. What had he done? 30,000 credits, nearly his entire operational fund. Yet abandoning her now seemed unconscionable. As he approached, Kay met his gaze directly, a slight upturn at the corners of her lips suggesting gratitude. In a voice like desert winds carrying ancient melodies, she spoke. "Thank you, Captain. You have given me the opportunity one sought." His confusion deepened. I didn't mean to purchase you. This is a mistake." Her head tilted slightly, prismatic eyes studying him. "Perhaps. Yet here we stand, bound by the station's laws. Unless you intend to return me." The thought of sending her back into that glass prison made his stomach churn. No, I won't do that." "Then let us depart. There's much to discuss, and I sense the station's enforced serenity wearing thin." Indeed, several disappointed bidders had approached nearby, their whispered threats about claiming the prize through other means growing bolder. Ryland gestured to Kay. "Follow me. Aurora's Edge isn't much, but it's better than this place." The docking bay echoed with their footsteps as they navigated past gleaming luxury vessels to reach Ryland's significantly more modest ship. Aurora's Edge bore the scars of 3 decades traversing trade routes, hull patches of various alloys, mismatched armor plating, and a cargo bay door that required manual override during atmospheric entries. "She's not pretty," Ryland admitted as they boarded. But she's reliable. Beauty manifests differently across species and circumstances, Kay observed, running her hand along a bulkhead. This vessel has stories engraved in its very structure. He guided her through the cramped corridors, pointing out essential areas. Bridge there, common area here. Your cabin. He hesitated at the small sleeping quarters he'd hastily prepared. It's not built for. He gestured vaguely at her translucent form. It will suffice. I require little beyond basic climate, control, and periodic crystalline meditation. Right. He scrubbed his face, exhaustion and confusion mounting. Look, we need to get something straight. I don't know what Leorian customs dictate, but I'm not. I won't. I didn't buy you to possess me intimately. Her melodic laugh filled the corridor. Captain Ryland, you misunderstand both the concept of purchase and the nature of the Eurobond. In the ship's small galley, she accepted a condensed nutrient cube with polite curiosity. In Leorian culture, the Eura is a sacred companion chosen to share one's path. What you call auction, we view as selection. I volunteered for this opportunity after my homeworld was designated for resources by the Andromeda Collective. Volunteered. The word tasted bitter. To be sold, to be chosen. To find someone willing to transcend cultural boundaries, to seek partnership beyond mere alliance. Her eyes met his. The price paid reflects not ownership, but investment in possibilities. Ryland rubbed his temples. So, you're telling me you're happy to be here? On a barely functioning trade vessel with a captain who barely manages to keep her flying? I see potential where you see limitation. Your unintentional bid suggests fate's intervention. Or perhaps it revealed your subconscious recognition of destiny. Destiny? He laughed humorlessly. I was distracted by how wrong this whole system is. If I had any functioning brain cells, I'd march you right back to. The ship's proximity alert interrupted their debate. External cameras revealed a sleek combat vessel approaching from the nebula's concealment. Unidentified ship, this is the Obsidian Talon. We're declaring salvage rights over your recent acquisition. Prepare for boarding. Ryland recognized the ship's configuration. Vortex-class interceptor, favored by separatist factions and privateers. Okay, secure yourself in your cabin. I need to handle this. You intend to face them alone? My ship, my problem. Incorrect. You have a companion now. The Eura bond extends to shared challenges. Despite his protests, she remained as he engaged the ship's aging defense systems. 3 other vessels materialized from the nebula. A coordinated ambush. Aurora's Edge, lower your shields. The Leorian comes with us, either intact or in pieces. Captain, Kay's touch on his arm startled him. Allow me to assist. My people's gifts may prove valuable. Reluctantly, he accepted her presence at the weapons console. As plasma bolts hammered their shields, Kay's hands danced across unfamiliar controls with surprising proficiency. These attackers betray desperation, she observed. Their formation suggests inexperience with coordinated assault. He executed evasive maneuvers while returning fire. You analyzed all that in seconds. Reading energy patterns and behavioral cues are fundamental Eura skills. Watch. The lead ship's shield harmonics indicate vulnerability to modulated pulse fire. Her insight proved accurate. The Obsidian Talon's shields rippled under concentrated strikes from Aurora's guidance systems. But 3 against 1 remained overwhelming odds. Emergency beacon is compromised, he reported as another impact rocked the bridge. These pirates have isolation technology. Kay closed her eyes, her skin luminescence intensifying. Then we must accept what fate provides. If we fall here, at least we face it together. A massive detonation suddenly engulfed the pirate formation. Through the sensor static, a colossal vessel emerged. A core world's battlecruiser, its weapon arrays still glowing from particle cannon discharge. Aurora's Edge, this is Captain Jessica Volkov of the UPS Nexus Guardian. We detected unauthorized aggression. Are you requiring assistance? Relief flooded Ryland's system. The pirates' remaining ships initiated emergency jumps, vanishing into subspace. Nexus Guardian, we're We're okay now. Thank you. Understood. We're tracking those raiders through Andromeda's sector. Be aware, we detected high-value smuggling patterns matching your recent departure from Galaxia. Recommend varying your route. After the battlecruiser departed, Ryland slumped into his command chair. They'll return. For you. Kay approached, placing her hand over his. Then we face that future when it arrives. For now, we breathe. We survive. The following weeks passed in careful acclimatization. Kay adapted to the ship's routines while teaching Ryland about Leorian healing techniques and their intricate star navigation methods using crystalline resonance. In zero-G training sessions, her natural grace contrasted sharply with his mechanical movements. You fight your body's intuition, she observed as he fumbled another low-gravity maneuver. Physics don't care about intuition. Physics encompasses far more than your species typically acknowledges. She demonstrated a spinning technique that seemed to defy conventional acceleration. Physics. Consciousness shapes perception, shapes reality, shapes physics. His crew noticed changes too. When docking at Kepler Station for repairs, his longtime friend Marcus Torres pulled him aside. Ryland, what possessed you? Everyone's talking about how you bought some exotic companion slave. She's not a slave, he snapped. And honestly, I'm still figuring out what she is. Careful, friend. That kind of asset attracts dangerous attention. Indeed, as they prepared to depart Kepler, automated systems flagged incoming vessels with suspicious transponder codes. Kay joined him on the bridge, having sensed his tension. We're becoming predictable, she said. Your standard routes make us vulnerable. I know every hidden jump point in 3 quadrants. We'll be fine. She hesitated before speaking. There's another option. My people maintain secure pathways through regions others consider impassable. Your people. He turned from the navigation console. You've been in contact? The Eura bond carries resonance that transcends distance. If we travel to the Valora Nebula's edge, I can guide us through a crystalline corridor my ancestors established. The detour would add weeks to their delivery schedule, but anonymity held greater value than punctuality. Ryland programmed the new coordinates. The Valora Nebula's swirling gases created a tapestry of blues and purples against the cosmic background. As they approached the designated coordinates, Kate entered a meditative state, her entire body becoming a conduit of prismatic light. The corridor opens now, she whispered. Trust my guidance. Unlike typical jump navigation, this passage felt alive. Aurora's edge glided through what appeared to be solid crystal walls, though their sensors detected no physical matter. Colors shifted beyond normal spectrum into something the ship's equipment couldn't process. This is incredible, Ryland breathed, watching impossible geometries through the viewports. This is heritage, Kay replied. Paths forged by those seeking connection between isolated worlds. They emerged 2 standard days later in uncharted space, exactly where Kay had promised. The detour had indeed evaded pursuit, but more importantly, it revealed depths to his companion that challenged every assumption he'd held. When the ship's proximity alarms activated unexpectedly, both rushed to stations with practice coordination. It's not pursuing us, Kay noted, studying sensor data. It's broadcasting distress. The damaged freighter Aurora Moon drifted without power, lifeboats struggling to activate. As a trader, Ryland knew the moral calculus clearly. Merchant codes demanded assistance to fellow spacers. Colonial transport, 23 souls aboard, engines critical. His communications officer summarized the automated beacon. Hey, I have to. No explanation needed. We respond to those who call. Her resolute expression matched his own. Within minutes, they deployed magnetic grapples and extended docking umbilicals. The evacuees, mostly agricultural colonists heading to the frontier worlds, showed profound gratitude mixed with suspicion when they glimpsed Kay's distinctive features. Is that a Leorian companion? Whispered a child, wide-eyed. Indeed, Kay acknowledged, kneeling to the child's level. Her hands glowed softly as she examined a cut on the girl's arm. And you are very brave for enduring such adventure. The healing touch left no mark, only wonder. As Kay moved among the evacuees, offering comfort and minor healing, attitudes transformed from wariness to reverence. Captain, the Aurora Moon's senior survivor addressed Ryland formally. Your companion's gift is remarkable. Our ship's medical systems failed in the impact cascade. Ryland found himself defending her autonomy without conscious thought. She chooses to help. The Ura bond doesn't command service. It nurtures partnership. Over the following days, as they transported survivors to the nearest populated system, Ryland observed how Kay's mere presence shifted perceptions. Her dignity, wisdom, and genuine compassion challenged preconceptions about what being bought meant. Late one ship's night, he found her in the observation dome, studying star charts. "I owe you an apology," he said. "I prejudged the entire situation at Galaxia. You saw injustice and reacted. That speaks well of your character." Still, he leaned against the viewing portal. "I'm beginning to understand. The Ura selection process, it's not about ownership. It's about recognition. Two souls identifying potential for transcendent partnership." She traced constellation patterns on the transparent aluminum. "Your reluctance, your moral struggle, these qualities drawn me to this particular auction. Many bidders that day sought possessions. You alone questioned the system itself." When they finally delivered the Aurora Moon survivors to Haven Colony, the colonists' final words echoed with gratitude that encompassed both of them equally. The Sentinel's Reach, deep space installation known for its zero tolerance toward criminal activity, should have been an ideal stopover for refueling. Instead, it became another test of their partnership. Captain Ryland, the dock authority's leader, addressed them from behind reinforced security barriers. "We've received bounty notices regarding your passenger." Kay stepped forward without hesitation. "I travel by my own will, bearing gifts that cannot be claimed through force or purchase. Regardless of circumstances, your presence creates liability for this installation. Multiple parties seek compensation for investments made at Galaxia." Ryland felt his protective instincts engage. "We're requesting fuel and basic supplies. Unless you're denying standard merchant privileges." The standoff dissolved when a merchant captain, one whose cargo Ryland had once protected from solar pirates, interceded. Ryland's reputation precedes him. "If he claims this individual travels freely, I trust his judgment." As they departed the Reach, Kay observed, "Your network proves more extensive than these mysterious maps suggest. Merchants take care of our own. Besides," he glanced at her, "defending someone who saved stranded colonists isn't really controversial." She touched his arm gently. "Yet you defended my autonomy before knowing about those colonists, before understanding Ura traditions. This suggests something deeper than merchant camaraderie." His heart stuttered, but before he could respond, proximity alarms screamed warnings. 3 Obsidian-class ships materialized in precision formation, the same configuration that had attacked before. But these weren't salvage hunters. Command codes identified them as official bounty enforcement vessels. Aurora's Edge, cease acceleration. The Leorian, designated K, is wanted for breach of auction contract termination. Surrender peacefully. Ryland's hands gripped the controls. "What does this mean?" "The auction house filed legal petition," Kay explained calmly, "claiming I failed to honor the selection's terms by refusing subsequent transfer." "You never told me you refused." "Because I didn't. The terms specified choosing a worthy companion, not submitting to resale." Her eyes hardened. "Someone influential wishes to override that distinction." The bounty ships advanced with practiced intimidation patterns. Ryland's military training identified their strategy immediately. Herding maneuvers designed to force surrender without actual engagement. "Options are limited," he reported. "FTL jump requires 20 minutes minimum. They're positioned to intercept any direction we turn." Kay assumed a meditative stance. "Then perhaps we should not turn." "Meaning?" "The Velora corridor. Its entrance point exists 7.3 light-years from our position. If we accelerate toward it, they might hesitate. Navigating crystalline passages requires specific resonance attunement." It was insane. 7 light years at sublight speeds meant months of travel. But perhaps, how long until they abandoned pursuit? The crystal path's entrance zone creates electromagnetic interference. Standard tracking becomes unreliable. Ryland programmed the trajectory. It's a gamble. All worthwhile endeavors require faith. They pushed Aurora's edge beyond safety margins, the aging engines protesting as bounty ships moved to intercept. Weeks passed in tension-filled acceleration, with their pursuers maintaining position despite growing distance from authorized patrol zones. During night watches, Ryland and Kay spoke of futures beyond immediate survival. "If we reach there," she ventured one evening in the galley, "will you accompany me through to Leorian space? To your homeworld?" Home is relative. Her smile held surprising warmth. But Leora maintains stations where Eura bonds receive formal recognition, where your accidental bid could transform into intentional partnership. The word intentional resonated unexpectedly. And if I'm not Eura material, you've already proven worthy, protecting lives without obligation, refusing to trade ethics for convenience, choosing uncertain freedom over certain security. Her faith unsettled him. "I made a colossal, expensive mistake at that auction." "Did you? Or did circumstance reveal what careful calculation could not?" Before he could respond, proximity sensors detected the Valoran Nebula's outer marker. Behind them, the bounty ships began decelerating. They're withdrawing, Kay confirmed. Standard enforcement doesn't pursue into navigation anomalies. We're not safe yet. Once we emerge on the other side, by then, we'll have reached territories where such pursuits lose legal standing. Leorian space honors sanctuary traditions. As they approached the crystalline corridor's entrance point, Aurora's edge began experiencing the harmonic resonance Kay had described. She moved to the navigation station, her entire being becoming an instrument of stellar wayfinding. "Match your ship's frequency to my guidance." This passage doesn't forgive discordance. The entry point appeared as a shimmering distortion in space-time. Unlike their first journey, Ryland now understood the significance. Generations of Leorian navigators had crafted these safe passages through regions that would otherwise remain eternally isolated. "Ready?" he asked, though the question extended beyond navigation. "Ready," she confirmed. Aurora's edge slipped into the crystalline corridor, bounty ships dwindling to points of distant light before vanishing entirely. This time, Ryland appreciated the ancient engineering achievement surrounding them. Translucent walls showed glimpses of impossible geometries where parallel universes brushed against their own. 7 synchronous breathing exercises later, Kay's method of marking time in the corridor, they emerged near a beautiful station orbiting a triple moon planet. The facility's organic architecture merged crystalline spires with living botanical walls. Leora Station, gateway between 2 distinct regions of inhabited space. Captain Ryland, the station's welcoming committee, greeted them upon docking. "We've been monitoring your journey. The bond between species finds powerful examples in those who arrive by the crystal paths." Kate introduced him formally. "This human captain carried me beyond obligation, defended my autonomy despite uncertain profit, and faces Leorian hospitality with openness rather than assumption. I request consideration for Eura recognition." "You do." The surprise slipped out before he could censor it. She turned to him, prismatic eyes reflecting station lighting. "Unless you object." Formal recognition transforms financial transaction into sacred covenant, if both parties consent willingly. "The council awaits your testimony." An elder guided them through corridors where bioluminescent plants created ever-shifting patterns. Know that denying sacred bond requires no shame. Many arrive uncertain. Some depart enlightened by their limitations. In a chamber where crystal resonance produced ethereal music, 5 robed figures stood in semicircle formation. The proceedings combined formal inquiry with surprisingly intimate questions. "Captain, what drew you to intervention at the auction?" "The wrongness of it. Watching intelligent beings displayed like merchandise." Yet you completed the transaction. Accidentally, but completing it felt necessary, right? I couldn't leave her in that system. And your companion's happiness during this journey surprises you? Kate answered before he could. His surprise reflects genuine respect for my autonomy. He questioned not my capability for contentment, but his worthiness to receive it. Hours of testimony revealed truths neither had explicitly acknowledged. Ryland described moments where Kay's presence had shifted his entire perspective on interspecies collaboration. She chronicled instances where his principled stance contradicted profit-driven norms. Finally, the lead elder addressed them both. Euro recognition requires elements beyond attraction or partnership. It demands willingness to grow beyond individual identity while maintaining essential self. Understand, Ryland said slowly. The real question isn't whether Kay chose wisely. It's whether I can accept being chosen. And accept choosing in return, Kay added softly. The elder's smile suggested satisfaction. Many who arrive here speak only of obligation or desire. Few understand the metamorphosis required. They conferred privately in crystalline chambers before emerging for final pronouncement. Eric Ryland and Kay of Leora, the Council recognizes your journey as authentic Yura emergence. What began in uncertainty has evolved through challenge into conscious selection. A ceremonial resonance filled the chamber as crystal matrices responded to their combined presence. Light patterns merged around them, creating mandalas that seemed to encode their shared experiences. The auction house standoff, the medical emergency, the aurora-lit conversation on a ship, the dangerous dance through crystalline corridors. You are bound now by something beyond legal contract, the elder pronounced. Recognition carries reciprocal duty to protect and promote the growth of your companion while maintaining the sovereignty of your individual essences. After ceremony concluded, they stood together on an observation platform overlooking the triple moons. Station personnel gave them privacy for absorption of newly acknowledged commitment. I should clarify something, Ryland began. When I heard that phrase, companion purchased, I imagined a very different kind of relationship. Something more intimate. The auction house cultivates such assumptions, selling companionship through implied promises. But you volunteered anyway. I saw a partnership that could bridge worlds. Physical intimacy may or may not develop between Yura companions. The bond contains no such requirement. And if it does develop, then it emerges from understanding, not obligation. Her smile carried both warmth and challenge. Perhaps someday you'll know the difference. Their next months proved the Council's wisdom. Aurora's Edge gained modified engines compatible with crystalline navigation, allowing formerly impossible trade routes. Kay's cultural insights opened markets previously closed to human merchants. Ryland's determination to navigate crises honorably earned respect from isolationist species wary of Federation expansionism. When they returned to core space after one particularly lucrative run, they discovered their story had preceded them. The Aurora's Edge docked at Kepler Station to find the entertainment channels debating the traitor and his companion. Modern slavery or revolutionary romance? Revolution, obviously, declared an Andorian philosopher on the view screen. They've demonstrated that cross-species bonds can transcend transaction. Dangerous precedent, argued a Federation ethics counselor. Romanticizing purchases legitimizes exploitation. Ryland turned to Kay. Do we need to respond to this? Our lives respond more eloquently than words, though I notice how quickly their narrative shifts when given examples of practice rather than theory. Indeed, as they continued their journeys, other auction-acquired companions began stepping forward. Some told stories of genuine happiness, others of subtle coercion, many of complicated realities between extremes. When Vorik the Magnate, the primary architect of Leorian auction programs, tried to reclaim certain contractually ambiguous companions, Ryland found himself leading a coalition of captains who refused compliance. The age of selling living beings has ended, he announced at a portmaster's meeting. Trading goods and services, yes. But persons, in whatever form they take, belong to themselves first. Strong words, Vorik's representative sneered. From someone who benefits from the system. Kay rose smoothly. Systems evolve or collapse under the weight of their contradictions. We demonstrate evolution. Opposition reveals those who've already chosen collapse. Her words resonated across merchant networks. Trading houses reconsidered policies. Auction installations faced licensing challenges. While change occurred gradually, the trajectory shifted unmistakably. 2 years after their first meeting, they found themselves back at Galaxia Station, now renamed Nexus Point after corporate restructuring. The auction hall had transformed into a cultural exchange center where voluntary partnerships could form between diverse species. "Remember where you stood?" Kay asked, gesturing toward the spot where he'd accidentally raised his datapad. "I remember thinking how wrong it all was. Yet look," she indicated the new setup where companions presented themselves freely, choosing partners through conversation rather than bidding. They watched as a young Orvanian introduced herself to various ship captains, seeking someone who appreciated navigational mathematics. An elderly human pilot, retired military, connected instantly with a former soldier from the Ilian Collective, both recognizing shared experiences across species lines. "You changed this place," he observed. "We changed this place. Your outrage, my opportunity, our example. Change requires both catalyst and medium." They departed Nexus Point for new destinations, leaving others to follow or forge alternate paths. Aurora's Edge carried cargo holds full of legitimate trade goods, crew quarters housing voluntarily signed companions, and navigation banks programmed with crystalline corridors accessible only to those who understood their nature. "Where to?" Ryland asked from the captain's chair as they cleared station gravity well. "Onward," Kay replied, having long since earned her place at navigation. The universe contains infinite destinations for those who travel together. Their ship turned toward distant stars, the Aurora Bright engines leaving particle trails resembling crystalline pathways. Whatever waited beyond their current charts, they would face it as companions, chosen by circumstance, bonded by experience, and carried forward by the momentum of two lives that had unexpectedly, irrevocably intertwined. In quiet moments between jumps, when stellar radiation painted rainbow auroras across their viewports, they would review their improbable beginning and celebrate the accident that others would later study as inevitability. For in the vast network of possibility spanning the universe, what seems unlikely from one perspective reveals itself as destiny from another. And somewhere between those viewpoints, two unlikely companions had discovered that happiness manifests most purely when, freely chosen, again and again, with each sunrise shared beneath alien skies.